You don't need more discipline to start writing songs. You don't need more knowledge, and you don't need to be ready. What you actually need is a simple way to begin. One that feels like an open doorway into creative play, and one that feels natural to your voice. Today I'm sharing the exact 3-part ritual that I use when I sit down to write. Welcome to Singer-Songwriter, a space to reconnect with your voice, your music, and the songs waiting to be written. I'm Lainey, singer and songwriter, voice and creativity coach. If you've ever dreamed of writing and singing your own songs, but doubt or perfectionism keeps getting in the way, then grab that notebook full of ideas. It's time to open your voice, trust your sound, and express yourself freely. Your songs are waiting. Let's bring them to life. Have you been looking for a doorway back into your music? One that feels gentle and easy, one that moves and dances with your life, one that feels creative, not rigid, but playful and expansive. I know when I was struggling to come back to my music after a career in opera and some rigorous training in the classical world, I needed time and space away. And, that led to some silence, some distance. But when I came back to the heart of my music and the heart of my voice, what I wanted was a creative path back to the song in my heart. And I didn't get there with these complex vocal warm-ups or advanced exercises. What brought me back home to my voice and my creative spirit was creating my own practice flow that felt more like a playground than a box to conform to. What brought me back was listening to my inner voice and letting that guide my creative practice. And that led to writing and to songs and to dancing and incorporating all of these different forms of creativity into my singing and songwriting practice. And as I did that, songs started pouring through because I was awakening something in me that was so true and so real and so aligned. And it didn't come from outside of me telling me this is the right way to do it, this is how it's supposed to be. It came from within me. If you are longing to reconnect with your voice and start making music again, writing your own songs, but it just feels like a wall when you try to go to practice or work on your music, my vocal breakthrough sessions are where we explore this one-on-one, where we find that pathway back to your voice and music and into those songs that are already inside of you, but they just need a little opening to move, to breathe, to sing. If you want personal support to craft your own creative practice, one that incorporates singing and songwriting in a way that's intuitive and playful and personalized for you, book a session with me and we can map it out together, brick by brick, stepping stone by stepping stone. You can learn more about these sessions at reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching. Now let's talk about how to begin. Forcing a singing and songwriting practice never worked for me. In that space between the opera world and songwriting, I did a lot of trying to make myself do it right. And it felt so forced. And I always ended up beating myself up and getting so frustrated that my voice wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And so it caused a lot of mental tension, but also physical tension in my body, trying to push my voice somewhere that it didn't want to go. There was a time when I tried to structure my voice practice in a way that was very rigid, uniform. What am I trying to say? Like I had a set number of exercises that I had to go through and in a certain order. And when I finally gave myself permission to let go of that and kind of unlearn some of these things, what came through was a beautiful blend of intuitive flow, creative play, and vocal freedom. And so over time, I built this bridge between the practice I had learned and the practice that I now use that came from within me, came from listening to my voice, listening to my creative spirit, and letting that lead me gently on a path into creative flow, into voice opening. This is the practice that emerged after years of trying to do it the right way. Now, don't get me wrong, the vocal exercises and warm-ups, the traditional ones, they have their place in vocal development, and they're powerful for their purposes. But when you're just trying to connect with your creativity and open your voice, there's a better way. There's a better way than just drilling it out. You don't need pressure, tension, forcing, pushing, trying, striving. You need a doorway. Like I said, it's this entry point. It's this pathway in. So this practice is for beginners, it's for returners, and it's for the creatively blocked. It works in all of these seasons and for people coming into songwriting from different places in life, different places in the music. So I'll take you through these 3 steps. And as I talk about each part, think about how you can make it your own and what speaks to you, what feels inspiring to you, what feels accessible and doable to you. Because this is your practice. This is your creativity, your music, your voice. So take this as a framework and let yourself play with it. You'll know how to incorporate your voice into this, your creative spirit. Step 1, breath and grounding. That's where it all begins. The purpose of this step is to arrive, to become fully present with your practice. It's a way to connect to your heart and your body and to really center yourself in this time that you've set aside for your voice, your music, your creativity. So there are many ways you can go about doing this, but I'll just share with you some ideas. I like to start with simple stretching. So I'll sweep my arms above my head and tilt to one side and then the other to stretch out those intercostal muscles between the ribs, because we use those a lot in singing. And there's so much spaciousness there to open up to. And I'll do like that forward fold ragdoll and just hang there for a while. Swing my arms around, really elongate the spine, and then slowly ascend one vertebra at a time. And when I reach the top, I roll my shoulders back. I feel that alignment through the spine, and I anchor in. I feel my roots sinking into the earth. And then I'll take those 3 breaths, 3 intentional breaths. The first breath, I'll breathe in and I will exhale whatever came before my practice. Something that happened, something in the past, whatever I was doing right before, I exhale that and let it all out. On the second breath, take that deep breath in, that deep belly breath. I'm already working with the diaphragm, but I'll take that second breath and I'll exhale whatever is yet to come, whatever is still to come. So, what I'm worrying about happening later or in the future, all of that, I exhale it away. And then that third breath is breathing in this moment. Presence. Now, personally, this is where I will say a prayer. Sometimes I'll vocalize it out loud. And other times I will just take a moment internally. But you can do other things in this breathing and grounding time. Sometimes I will put on a song and dance to it. I'm awakening my body, moving my body, starting to breathe, grounding in. I can stomp my feet to the beat and feel that anchor taking root. So there are different ways to do the breath and grounding. Think about what this might look like for you. Is it some meditation? Overall, this is awakening the breath and the body and becoming present with your practice in that moment. Step 2, lyric freewrite. So the purpose of this step is to clear out the mental clutter and access truth. There doesn't need to be structure to your writing. No editing at this stage. You are listening through this writing. So it can be stream of consciousness. Set a timer for 5 minutes. I think I forgot to say that with step 1. Step 1, spend like 5 minutes doing that. Step 2, set a timer for 5 minutes. Spoiler, Step 3 is also going to be 5 minutes. So this is really a 15-minute practice that you can take with you. And, it can expand on certain days. It can contract, get a little smaller on those days where you only have a few minutes. But okay, let's get back to step 2. You can write stream of consciousness for 5 minutes, or you can take the seed of an idea, like something that came through for you in your day, sometime in your day, and you like wrote down a little phrase, a little piece of lyrics, a few words. You can write about that. You can have a journaling prompt that you write on for 5 minutes. It's really up to you. This is your lyric free write. So sometimes I will just blurt it all out, whatever is coming through, and that's like clearing the way for something new to pop through. And sometimes I will go back to my notebook or my notes app on my phone where I jotted down an idea that just popped up, but I didn't have time to like go deep into the songwriting process in that moment. Well, I'll revisit that seed of an idea in this practice time, in this 5-minute lyric writing time, and see what happens with it. Just start with that phrase or that word. I have one right now that's waiting for me, and it's chasing the wind. Just as an example, chasing the wind. What can come with that if I just write on that idea? And you never know where it's going to lead you, but you have 5 minutes to explore, to play, and to listen to what might want to come through. But you're going with emotion, leading with emotion, not trying to be clever about it or not trying to perfect these lyrics and edit and revise as you go. No, this is just letting it flow for 5 minutes, whatever comes. And you can take your own approach, stream of consciousness, journaling prompt, or the seed of an idea that you had at some point. You can revisit it here. But overall, this is about listening, not performing, not honing or refining. This is about listening. Step 3, vocal improvisation. You can set a timer for 5 minutes, and in that 5 minutes, all I want you to do is open your voice and follow a melody where it takes you. Now, it helps to have a tonal center, like a home note, and it helps to have a heartbeat. But other than that, you can let it go. And even you can play with those two things too. But the purpose of this is to bring the body and the voice into play. Let them play. And no words are even required. They might come through, but really we're just opening up on vowels, we're humming, and it's more about sound than meaning. And it's really amazing what can happen in those 5 minutes if you allow yourself to keep going. Keep going. Don't stop until you hear that little timer on your phone. I have these little chimes set, so it's gentle and it feels nice. It's not like alarming. But, when that timer goes off, you can kind of wrap it up and bring it to a close in your own way. But it's amazing what can happen in that time. Maybe you've been all over the place and that's what your voice needed to kind of sort through some stuff. but maybe you got locked into a melody that just keeps singing in your mind throughout the day. Well, maybe there's something for you to make into a song later on. But the practice is for play, just simple play. It's about the process more than it is about coming out of it with something. Let the voice follow feeling, emotion. Let it sink into that rhythm that you find, whatever that may be. And it'll sometimes change over the course of that 5 minutes. The whole vibe can change. This is the beauty of just letting it flow, being open, and trusting your voice to guide you into an unknown space. Now, with these 3 steps together, it's a beautiful access point into creative flow. So notice I didn't say anything about playing an instrument or working on a specific song or working on vocal technique. I didn't say anything about song structure and music theory, and that is not where we are with this practice. This is a doorway. This is a beautiful place to begin and a playground to indulge the senses. This is what can awaken your creativity. And if this is all that you do, this will bring so much joy and freedom to your overall well-being. But it can do so much for your artistry, your musicality, your creativity. And like I said, it's a doorway. So from there, you can begin working on a specific song, trying to figure out that bridge section. Or maybe you can do some more focused vocal exercises to open up a certain part of your range, or to find that clarity in your voice that you want in your overall tone. Or you can go into deeper lyric development, working on songs you've already written, or finishing songs, or playing with chord progressions. All of this comes after. But if you just do this practice, 15 minutes, once a week, it's amazing what it can do for your creative spirit, for your just general well-being and clarity of mind, openness of heart. And as you go through your day, there's a certain creative channel that's open, and you'll hear little things that you can jot down in that notebook and revisit in your next practice session, to write about a melody you can start playing with in step 3, or the idea for how you want to express a certain idea in your music, or even what is your next step in your musical aspirations, your path as a singer-songwriter, some direction, some vision. It all comes through when we give it the space that it needs. And this practice helps you create that space through, number 1, breath and grounding. Number 2, clearing the mind, doing that lyric free write. And number 3, letting the voice play, doing the vocal improvisation. So this can be as simple as number 1, breathe, number 2, write, And number 3, hum. But do it in your own way. This is enough to begin. If you want support building this into a sustainable practice that gives you confidence and feels like a breath of fresh air, one that gives you vocal freedom, whether you are returning after time away or finally allowing yourself to begin, my vocal breakthrough sessions are designed exactly for this, for creating a singing and songwriting practice that feels like home, that feels like it's really yours, and that can lead you into the heart of your songs and the heart of who you are as an artist. You can explore working together at reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching. I would love to connect with you in a private one-on-one coaching session where we get to sit down together or stand or do some dancing. You never know what's going to happen. But we will play and open up possibility for your creativity, your artistry, your musicianship, your voice. Head to reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching to book your session now. So like I said, try this ritual once this week and see how it feels. You can do it in just 5 minutes, kind of roll through all steps, or you can do the full 15 minutes. 5 minutes, breath and grounding, 5 minutes, free writing, 5 minutes, vocal play, vocal improvisation, playing with melody. Your creative spirit deserves this space to breathe, to sing, to write, to play. So what can you do this week to give yourself that gift of space? Your voice isn't gone. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's still right there inside of you, waiting for you to open the door so it can run out and play with wild abandon. Have fun. And I'll see you next week here on the Singer-Songwriter Podcast. Thanks for listening, friend. If this episode moved you or inspired you in some way, would you please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with someone who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough? Until next time, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.